Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric, Paige.
No sound effects today? No fart noises or anything like that?
No. However, would you like a surprise?
What's the surprise?
Check your mail bomb.
Oh my god. That one frame. They're going to demonetize the whole thing.
If
One
this
frame.
stream lasts even 30 seconds past this point, it'll be an achievement.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cal with the 199 super chat. How are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good, Cal. I hope you're doing well. As you can see,
That's one way to start it.
Pagey's doing good, obviously. Welcome, everyone. It is myself and Finding Nemo, aka the stream demonetizer, over here.
I thought you were going to say stream bomber for a second. Thank
No,
God.
no, staying away from that completely. Staying away from that completely. Ben may show up at some point. I guess we'll have to wait and see if he's.
I'm here. I'm here. Oh, I've arrived, Derek.
I mean, who knows? I don't know. So we're we're going to be talking about. So here's the deal. We'll probably chat a bit about Stargirl at the end. And if you guys want to ask questions about like Titans or anything like that, feel free to ask. But the focus is primarily going to be on this big news that dropped like right before the after party, which was like a gift to us. I think they were like, you know what, the after party starts, sometime in the afternoon on Wednesday. Why don't we put our news out just a little bit before that? So that way they have this
usually
amazing
the day
topic
after.
to talk about. I know. I'm surprised it didn't come out tomorrow. Like first thing in the morning tomorrow would have been the ideal time to do it, I guess. So, look, we have someone in behind the scenes here that's waiting to come up on the stream. You see this? Wow.
It is I.
I've arrived.
No, I've arrived. 'Tis I. Hello.
Yeah. So he's been working a lot, so I'm surprised that he's here.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've been on a film set, been filming every day.
Oh, flex. That's a flex.
Mm-hmm.
That's a flex.
Oh, I told Eric this. I worked with Colin Salmon last week from Arrow. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What do you think about that, Paigey?
I thought it was gonna be some Love Actually situation, if you know what that reference means. Working on a film set. It's not actually a proper film set. Hashtag maybe Eric OnlyFans exclusive filming.
Eric's probably very happy about OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's great news.
Discussing
great
film
news.
reported.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah.
Clicks, Eric.
Yeah.
Didn't you see the
It's the
20
clicks, Eric,
Spider-Man
you know
No Way
that.
Home?
Right. I mean, I guess it is technically film. Technically film. Butter Knife.
Well, hold on.
ahead.
We'll
Yeah.
slow down. Ben, you confirming there's a discussing film OnlyFans coming?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
a
After
revenue stream is a
DJ
revenue stream.
Yeah.
We might have to have a chat with the higher ups.
Yeah.
Well, and you're saying you've been filming every day, so they're going to come to you for the.
Yeah, maybe.
Where's our cameraman Ben?
Exclusive for you guys. I'm pretty sure they love DJ Eric's content.
What about how about this, Eric? Would you take a contract from Discussing Film to do the X-rated film reviews?
No.
Okay.
Would not. You're really trying to demonetize me. It's like thing after thing after thing here. It's like it's gonna get shut down.
But last question. This isn't raunchy related.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather drink, Eric? Sprite or Sprite Cranberry?
Sprite cranberry.
You have cranberry Sprite.
I wish I did. I have regular Sprite. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Mm.
Sprite cranberry would be much
Was
better.
that why
I
you
love
were so
cranberry.
jealous of the Sprite hat?
Yes, that is exactly why. Which
That
is funny.
video was like,
I actually thought you were wearing it because you were messing with me. That's what I thought when I
No,
saw
I have a Sprite hat and it's green. Then I have a Coke hat.
Where's
I was
the
waiting
Pepsi
for
hat?
the
Where's the
sponsorship
Pepsi hat?
message.
I'm not a Neanderthal, so I don't drink Pepsi.
Oof, shots fired. So Butter Knife here with the Lion Super Chat. I think this is in talking about Superman and Lois. Could Amanda Waller replace Sam? I guess General Sam. Could you see her on? I don't really see how she would connect with Superman and Lois in terms of like as the main military person, right?
Well, I think they're mainly just going to move away from the DoD, probably.
Yeah. They did it a lot this season, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it might feature, but not to a point where it'd be worth having General Sam Lane there, if that makes sense.
But he was a pretty good character, wasn't he? Like,
yeah, but when DoD was consistently like playing a role, I think it'd be hard.
I actually think that it was this season. It was a big deal because of the storyline with John Henry Irons and the department. What was it, 7734? So I think that's kind of how that was going or whatever. Canada Graphs, I don't know your schedule. You stream at like 2:00 in the morning my time, so I don't even know what time you're up anymore. Like it's like 2:00 in the morning going live, and I'm like, what? Like I'm in bed. Like what's happening here?
Eric, you don't watch bed.
That's like Ben when he's doing his stream on his channel. I wake up and there's a DM at 3 a.m. Are you awake? You awake for a stream? I'm like, no, Ben, I'm asleep.
I don't know Australian times. Who knows Eric, do you know Australian times? What time is it right now?
In Australia, I think it is I want to say like 7:30 a.m. Is that right?
What's your guess, Ben? Without Googling.
Like 6.
No, Eric was right. 7:27.
Yeah.
So 6.
I kind of have it memorized after all the years we've been doing the after party. I kind of know the time.
Well, I was going to make a suggestion to Eric off stream, but I may as well put him under the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be moving the after party again. Not soon though, but maybe when the Flash comes back because there's no show after it because it's Riverdale after. So I think we should do the after party after Flash, like not straight after, obviously, but like on the same night.
Yeah.
Damn, you always need to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Well, the thing was, we used to do it that way before, but then Paigey said it was a bad time for him.
So it was bad because we used to do it so long after. I think we used to do it like 4 hours after the Flash ended.
Yeah, so now
you can do it an hour after it.
It was
Supergirl after the Flash.
I think the Flash came on at 9, didn't it? Or was it always at 8?
No, Arrow was after the Flash.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So we might do that. That's a possibility. I mean, we're gonna have to change
unless we want to include Riverdale in the after parties.
No.
Oh yeah.
Do that. Yeah. Martin here with a $4.99 super chat. I strongly believe that Cronarch is the villain for the first half of the season. What do you guys think? Well, the problem is that the first part of the season is technically this 5-episode crossover. So, I don't know how that would. I don't know would you mean the second part, like the back half of it? Because I know they're not including this as a graphic novel, but it is 5 episodes. So I don't know. Do you think we're going to see Cronarch on the Flash next season?
Not in that opening thing. Well, if it's Armageddon, then like they're doing Armageddon, so it should
unless they replace the Monarch character, I think, with Cronarch.
Maybe, but I don't know why you would. I don't know. I guess they could if they wanted to, but
it sounds similar, so let's replace it.
Staggervorth, the 4.9 super chat. So from what we know so far, as the crossovers only take place on the Flash, do you think it would just be for 1 episode? It's 5. It's going to be 5 episodes of crossovers. I saw some debate earlier when we came in here where people are saying, "Oh, well, TV Line is not calling it a crossover." What the hell is it then? It's a crossover.
It is a crossover.
Well, yeah, because the checkmate is Ben. What would you call Duet? It was only on the Flash.
Well, it was a crossover because there was characters in it.
Yeah, so it was a musical
Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah.
And when Flash went to Supergirl for that one episode on Supergirl,
It was a crossover.
It was a
Yeah,
crossover.
so this is a crossover.
They're
Yeah.
using special
This is
events.
5 episodes.
I
5
think
episodes.
they're trying to not hype people up to the level of like, oh, this is going to be like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't have to hype it over. You don't have to make it this epic event. It's still a crossover. You just still call what it is. It's like when someone hands you a burger. It doesn't mean it's got gold-plated buns and, $20,000 bacon or something. It's still a burger.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry for making you hungry, Eric, but
I know I'm really hungry
I was
now.
thinking of the best analogy.
I actually had a burger for lunch, so I'm not super hungry right now.
Wow.
Eric living the life.
2 cars in the driveway, blue beard, Marga headphones and microphone, and a burger at lunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I just say, when I saw the announcement,
Mhm.
got very excited for Paigey for one specific character. We'll get into it.
Okay, so let's kind of jump through this article. Paige's already got a video on it as well if you want to check his out, after you're done with this. But we're going to talk about it here, and I'm going to link it in the info box like after the stream is done. But it says the Flash lineup of superheroes and villains revealed for 5-part season 8 launch event. So this is going to be the first 5 episodes of season 8. I actually saw some articles that said season 7, and I'm like, how do you get that? Like, really? Like, come on. I mean, I think it was Screen Rant.
That doesn't surprise me.
That wasn't me.
The CW will welcome back the Flash for season 8 with this 5-part special event, Armageddon. Now, by the way, before we go any further, there is a DC event called Armageddon 2001 that was made in the 90s, and it says it's a gigantic battle of all Earth's heroes and villains, or against the villain known as Monarch, in which the superheroes were slain and the all-powerful Monarch plunged the world into a totalitarian government underneath his rule. Shockingly, I believe Monarch ended up being, hold on, let me click on it here. Wasn't he Hank?
Yeah, he is Hawk.
Okay. And it goes, this possible future took place in the then future of 2001, hence the title. In the year 2030, Matthew Ryder, a scientist sent into the time stream as part of the Monarch experiments, becomes imbued with temporal superpowers, and he goes by the name Wave Rider. And in an attempt to learn more about Monarch and determine who he is so he can be thwarted on his journey, Wave Rider investigates the possible futures of almost every superhero in the DCU, some even multiple times. And the tale reaches its conclusion. The identity of Monarch is revealed as he appears in present time to destroy all superheroes in order to make the future reign be certain. So that's the story from the comics. I don't think that this is going to be exactly that.
No,
right?
They'll just like anything, they'll do their own version of it. They take the general idea of it and put it in the context of the Arrowverse, just like every crossover, like Invasion, Elseworlds, all that stuff.
Yeah. So that's the gist of it. I do think they're going to incorporate some of that into this, but we'll talk about that as we go through the article. Set to begin on November 16th at 8 p.m. So there's the date, November 16th. We've had a lot of people wondering when it's going to come back. November 16th. Armageddon will feature numerous guest appearances from some of the CW's most notable heroes and villains. Set to join the Flash team are Javicia Leslie as Batwoman, Brandon Routh as the Atom, Cress Williams as Black Lightning, which I know a lot of people were excited that he might come back as Black Lightning, so that's cool to hear. Kyler Lee as Sentinel, Kat McNamara as Mia Queen, and Ostrid Chow as Ryan Choi. Tom Cavanaugh and Neil McDonough will return as Eobard and Damien Dark. So those are the named people that are returning here. Any surprises? Any disappointments there? Anybody that you think is left off the list?
I think everyone's a surprise outside of Batwoman and Black Lightning, I think.
Okay.
I
kind of thought Reverse Flash would be part of it, so he's not too big of a surprise to me, honestly. I thought that he would show up for sure.
I didn't, because I just thought they said it was like a hero thing and why would they make Reverse? I've seen people say that I've seen people misconstruing this, saying that they're saying that like Tom Cavan or that Reverse Flash and Damien Dark are the villains. But they're not saying that. They're just saying that their characters are enemies. And I'm seeing people saying, oh, they're playing the villains. I'm like, firstly, learn how to read. Second, obviously, they literally say a powerful alien threat arrives in the synopsis.
Which means that
Hello?
the villains wouldn't just join forces with this alien. Like that's
No,
doesn't
I'm
make any
assuming
sense.
that I don't even know if they're going to play that big a role. I don't know if they're just going to feature. I don't know necessarily if they're actually in the story too much. But
Mhm.
also, I think that this story is going to involve time travel. I'd assume because Mia's in it. I
Mm.
mean, I think Mia being there means it includes time travel.
So here's the thing, though. They talked about 2030 as the year of like this future person coming back or whatever in the comics. What if 2046 is like the year they use in the Arrowverse? What if that's where this all kind of originates in that time period, or somewhere in her future?
Well,
What
why
if
don't they
that's
make
like the beginning of it?
Where was it 2049?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the 2040s, is what I'm
No,
assuming.
but it's
Over there.
24. That's where Bard and Nora are from.
Right,
2049.
right,
So
exactly.
maybe
It-
it has something to do with them seeing it's on the Flash. So maybe they
that's
got
what I'm
tracked back.
wondering. Yeah, and the thing is, Mia would be the Green Arrow in that time period. That's the same time as the Flash kids would be superheroes. So I'm assuming they would know each other, probably.
Yeah, unless you managed to find a way to die.
I don't know. So I will say I was I'm particularly shocked by Brandon Routh because when he left Legends, it was a pretty kind of iffy situation. It didn't seem like they were totally treated as well as they should be. So I'm kind of shocked that he decided to come back. What role could he possibly be playing here? Because he's not really the Atom anymore. Like he left the ship and kind of gave up his superhero title. So
Well, I think I already said it.
what's that?
Time travel.
Well, yeah, but I mean, would they be going to the past?
Well, I assume so. Like, I think that'd be an easy way to do it.
I wonder if this is how they're going to pass his title on to Ryan Choi, because Ryan
Well,
Choi
yeah,
is a part of it.
And then in the present day, Ryan Choi takes it up.
Yeah. So I think that's that story. Are you surprised to see Mia coming back after all of this? Because Ben, are
Not
you
really.
excited?
Mia is back. What? No,
Like,
come on,
obviously,
were
as I
you
said,
expecting it?
like Batwoman and Black Lightning, everyone outside of those two was a surprise.
Mhm.
But it doesn't surprise me too much because they're obviously going to use this as an opportunity to tie off the loose end.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because that whole Green Eye of the Canaries thing is really weird. Like, they set all that up in so much of Arrow's last season, and then did the backdoor pilot,
Mhm.
and even in the finale for Arrow. So
Is this going to be a backdoor pilot to the backdoor pilot? Is this going to
well,
be
you know,
They're
you know
gonna
why I'm
try and
not.
revive the series.
You know why I'm not worried at all.
What's up?
Well, it's pretty clear. What was the issue with Arrow's final season when Mia was there?
Her being in the past?
No,
What?
Not enough.
they
Mia.
tried to make her the main character,
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's
and
kind
they
of
won't be. They're obviously not going to do that with the Flash.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm kind of concerned about that. We'll see how that goes. Damien Dark, excited to see him return because he hasn't been around in a while, and maybe he'll do Return of the Mac. Maybe that'll be his theme song when he comes
Well,
back.
you know what song I heard he's going to be doing?
What's that?
Nutbush.
Okay. Sure. Sounds great. Let's see who else. Oh, so Kyler is Sentinel. So since she's the only Supergirl character, does that kind of confirm some stuff about Supergirl that we've been wondering?
Well, that Super goes away.
Is she leaves? Yeah, that she goes
Yeah,
somewhere
pretty
else.
much. I mean,
Bec-
I think it's really cool that they're involving a Supergirl character because, yeah, it's gonna air right after the finale. But like, it's cool that Kyla stuck around. I don't know. It shows that she likes her character and
Possible
stuff.
spinoff show for her?
Yeah, like
maybe?
imagine if you got
Well,
Alex
she obviously
spin-off.
got paid to do it.
Yeah, obviously they all got paid to do it, but it's cool, you know. It's cool she stuck around.
Yeah. But this is quite a few characters, and Paige, you were saying that you thought that most of them would do at least a couple of the episodes, that they wouldn't be on all of them, but they might.
Well, I think it wouldn't
least
surprise
one
me
or
too much
two.
if like a bunch of them are in all of them.
Yeah,
But I
because they
think
don't have shows.
yeah, but I also think maybe like well, except for Javicia Leslie.
Apart from
Mm.
Javicia.
But I could see like most of episode 1 just being the Flash cast. Because I think it might be a bit jarring just to jump in all of a sudden, like the Atom's there or something like that, and Black Lightning's like, "Yo, what's up?" and then everything like that. So at least half the first episode, that might be set, or even most of it, and then in the end they bring in all of them, or someone comes in. Like, I don't know who would be a good connective tissue. Is there a good connective tissue here? I'm trying to think of there's no character that is really amazing connective tissue to everyone else. So I guess it's gonna have to. It's gonna be weird though, because you look at that group there, and the outlier is, funnily enough, Javicia Leslie's Batwoman. She hasn't interacted with any of these characters.
Yeah.
Which I think is really weird. So it's going to be interesting to see how she folds into that.
Wait, did she not interact with Black Lightning in the crossover?
No. She wasn't there. It was Ruby Rose.
Yeah, this one, iteration of Batwoman hasn't been around anybody yet. So Elizabeth here says that she wants to get closure and clarity about the backdoor pilot with Green Arrow and the Canaries. So I hope they do it right.
You're gonna get.
I mean, do you think they're going to explain sort of what's happening and have her walk away?
They'll wrap up the Mia stuff.
Well, if they pick up, like, not in 2040, if they go 2045, they can literally pick up where Mia's just being Green Arrow herself.
Yeah.
And Laurel and Dinah aren't involved.
But who are you guys most excited to see? What's like your
probably Black Lightning.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think for me, it's definitely. I'm excited to see Kyla as Sentinel.
Okay, sounds good. I mean,
I was saying I did see, and I'd like to get Ben's perspective of this. I saw people complaining that Kyla was there, like, instead of any other Supergirl character. I was like, but she's the only one that's.
Nia's not there.
I thought it would have been, well, based off what everyone was saying, it would have been Nia or Kelly Olsen. Based off, they're still in Vancouver.
I'm wondering if Nia leaves, though. I wonder if she goes to the future or with Brainy.
Maybe she goes, Legion.
I think Azzy's left already, so she just left.
No, that's the whole thing. She's still there. That's why people thought she was going to be in the crossover. She's still in Vancouver, apparently.
I'm not sure about Nicole. Maybe Nicole's in it. I don't know.
But like Kyla Lee, well, not Kyla Lee, Alex Danvers is the only one that would have interacted with any of these people in some sort of, because she was in a couple of crossovers.
Yeah, I think she's the connection. Like, imagine if Nia showed up. I don't think Nia's had that many.
Well, she was in Crisis, but she was helping, like, what, Lena Luthor, like, and that was about
exactly. So Alex is someone that knows, like, Barry and knows Team Flash, and so it does make sense that she's there. Although she isn't, like, the biggest hero. Like, I would argue, like, Nia's a bigger hero right now. Alex is more of, like, a newly formed vigilante. So
Canada said that she's gone now, but was here for a few weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But sick to get Reverse Flashback anyway.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. The thing is, now he's slower than Barry, so I don't know what good he's gonna do. He's a lot slower than Barry.
So all of them are Eric.
Yeah.
All of them are slower than Barry.
I want Wally to come back. I want Wally to be there for this, because that would be really good to have
Wally.
He would be great.
Wally West, man.
I wonder. I'm very curious how Black Lightning is going to get tied into this, because he's not even anywhere near any of the cities that they're around. Like, he's on the other side.
Barry met him before in Crisis, and so they do have that connection. So I think he's just going to be like, "Yo, I called Black Lightning up, and he just came."
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I'm just wondering, because we know that Black Lightning's got a family of superheroes. Like why just him? Like, I don't know. Kind of curious.
Maybe. Well, once again, flossing and or time travel.
Yeah.
And or dabbing.
Stagger of War with 49 super chat goes, it'd probably been nice if John Diggle was also included. I think we might find out what John Diggle's ending is in the next.
Do you want to? So I've seen people complaining, like, why is Superman not there? Why is Diggle not there? Why is Stargirl not there? Why isn't anyone there? Or these certain people that they'd want, like, main people. Obviously, one big thing with, like, Stargirl, Superman is clearly
they're
filming schedules. But also, this crossover, if it's based anything like off Armageddon, it deals with future stuff. So you don't want to wreck continuity, or, if anything, spoilers
for
what they. So you don't want to do something in this period in time in the future. This happens, then that show ends up getting there. And it's like, well, why wasn't there any sort of hint at that?
Do you think there's names that were left off of this that are going to get added later?
Yeah.
There might be cameos, but I think these are the main.
Yeah.
This is the meat and potatoes of it all.
Because
I think these are the characters.
By now they would have this story nailed down, right? They know exactly what they're doing at this point.
Yeah, well, they said
like it now.
Like, what was it like? I think it was at the end of last year. It would have had to be then, or maybe right at the beginning of this year, that Mark Petterwood said that Berlanti and Eric Wallace were writing it then. Like they were writing up the.
That was the Superman and Batwoman spin-off crossover, right?
Yeah, but that got scrapped pretty early on because they knew they weren't going to be able to.
And then they were just like, oh yeah, let's use these characters who aren't on the other shows so we can get the actors.
Yeah. So here it goes on to say, this is kind of the premise of it. In Armageddon, a powerful alien threat arrives on Earth under mysterious circumstances, and Barry, Iris, and the rest of Team Flash are pushed to their limits in a desperate battle to save the world. But with time running out and the fate of humanity at stake, Flash and his companions will also need to enlist the help of some old friends if the forces of good are to prevail. So this sounds to me like it's gonna be something like a big crossover, but not in the sense of like they're doing it all on one show instead of like jumping from show to show, which is why they're going to have to enlist people in. And it seems to me like, everybody always asks the question, well, why don't they just go get this person to help if something big is happening? And it sounds like this is going to be similar to that. Is that the impression that you're getting from this? Or like, do you think that's going to be the case? Or do you think these heroes are going to be involved like outside of the Flash going, hey, I need your help? Like, I think Mia's probably going to be, it would be kind of weird for her to be involved.
Well, no, I'd be interested to see like why is it specifically these people? Like, I can understand Batwoman, I can understand Black Lightning, I can understand
Alex. Right.
Well, no, not really. I was even bordering on the Atom. I was thinking like people that have been consistently in battles before. And I know it's a new Batwoman, but it's still Batwoman. So it'd still reach out in that regard. So
I'm pretty sure they're aware there's another Batwoman. They just don't know who she is.
Yeah, like they just haven't like there's been no room to have a dinner party and get to know each other. So I'm interested to see like what's the reasoning why it's these people, and I do wonder whether there's a specific reason in the story why they do that, or why they create one to make it like these are the people that need to be there. Like hopefully
maybe they're the Paragons. They're the Paragons.
I was going to say hopefully it's not another Paragon type situation, which I don't think it will be.
That's why Ryan's back.
But I'm interested to see what happens there.
You know what? You might be right, Ben. He's like, that's why Ryan's back. That might be the reason. Cal with the 1-9 super chat. Hopefully Superman appears in the crossover. I don't think he will. So
I reckon if he does, it's a cameo. Like it's literally like 2 scenes.
Yeah. I kind of want him to. I was hoping that Brandon Routh's Superman might appear because that would be really cool to get him.
There's a chance, right, with him filming, I guess, that maybe there's a cameo. I don't know.
Yeah, but they have to get the rights to do it.
Yeah.
True.
Goes on further, goes, all the information about Armageddon checks out with what the CW chairman and CEO Mark Pedowitz previously teased about the series kickoff. During a press call in the fall 2021 schedule, Pedowitz noted the first 5 episodes of the Flash season will feature different heroes from the CW verse. So does that mean like no Stargirl then, I guess? She's not going to show up at all? Because I know she's not mentioned, but it seems like even though he's saying CW verse, it looks like we're excluding characters that aren't on Earth Prime.
No, I think he just means Arrowverse.
I think it's very important to remember, like if they said Stargirl, it'd be spoiling anything because she's multiverse.
Right.
All these other heroes are on Earth Prime.
Yeah.
True.
So they probably wouldn't want to touch that until if she does show up, which I don't think she will, unless it's once again towards the end. They wouldn't want to spoil anything because I guess it would have to be set up on Stargirl show in some way.
Yeah. All right. And we have, pause that. The idea for the Flash is Eric Wallace and Greg Berlanti have come together talking about superheroes from the CW verse who will come together. It's a weird statement. In each individual episode, it will not be quite B. That's why is it written that way? A crossover, but it will have a crossover type feel in the introduction of all these characters. It's literally a crossover. Why are we trying to not make it a crossover? It is a crossover.
I don't know. I think it's. You know why? I think It's just, I think it's
Because
mainly
people are
because
going
it's
to be
5
disappointed.
episodes. Yeah, but that's idiots. Like, I think the main thing is because it's 5 episodes. So when you think 5 episodes and then crossover put in there, it just builds this, like, this scale, which I think personally it has a pretty big scale. If you go up to the description of the crossover, like, it's a pretty big
Oh,
scale
yeah.
in my opinion, like an alien threat that's gonna have to cause these
Threatening
heroes to come
destroy
together.
the world.
I'm not too sure why you would shy away from calling it a crossover, but even then, with the crossovers before, they don't really call them crossovers anyway. They call them events anyway. Like in the ads, they
Yeah,
go 5
the
episode, 4 episode
5-night
event.
crossover.
So they're folding into the crossover thing anyway.
So I'm looking up the definition of crossover because I'm going to be that person.
But
Isn't
it
it
said it's
literally with
it's
characters
redundant
coming in?
anyway. But
But
whole
it's-
even looking that up is redundant because the CW has called those episodes like the Flash musical crossover, the
Yeah,
Supergirl and the Flash crossover.
it
when
says
it's on one
here
show.
it's a placement of 2 or more fictional characters from other universes or the same universe into the context of a single story.
I didn't even know
That's-
why you had to Google that, Eric.
Because I'm trying to see why they're saying it's not. I don't understand their reasoning.
I think they're downplaying it just because it's the internet and everyone hypes up stuff. But even then, I don't even know why you'd try to downplay it anyway, because as I said, the description makes it seem much more grander in scale than a normal Flash thing anyway.
But you want to
whether it's a
hype it up.
finale or
That's the
anything.
whole point of this, right? They want it
Yeah,
to be hyped. So,
maybe
I
it's
mean,
maybe it's actually a bad thing that they're downplaying it, because like people will be less excited, even though they could get disappointed if they hype it up too much, if they're stupid. Like,
Yeah, but that's your own fault.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is your own fault.
that is your own fault.
Okay.
Once again, we
so-
go back to that burger analogy. You can hype up that burger, and then you bite into it, and it's dry but greasy at the same time.
I have an
It's-
even better one. WandaVision. People were disappointed in that show because it didn't do all trillion things.
Well,
that
you could
people
argue any
created.
of the Marvel Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, people wanted
Everyone's
more than what the
expecting
show was
freaking Silver
advertising.
Surfer to pop out of someone's ass every scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it Mephisto? Is it like it literally was like just everything was everything?
it'll be my fist in Yo face, Eric.
Simply
Yo,
put, these are going to be
blank.
some of the most emotional. Let me vomit over here.
Eric, what
Flash episodes ever. Plus, there's some truly epic moments and huge surprises that await our fans, and what we're doing them on a scale that's bigger and bolder than our traditional Flash episodes. So, yes, Armageddon is a lot more than just another graphic novel storyline. It's, in other words, it's a crossover. It's a crossover. It's going to be a true crossover event for the Flash and Arrowverse fans, old and new. Honestly, I can't wait for the audience
Did
to
he
see
just-
what we've got planned.
He just said crossover.
So, I
So
mean,
call it a crossover.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
all I'm going to say is that this has me very excited for the beginning of Flash season 8.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think this is a really good way to get us ready for it. And I truly hope there are more surprises that we don't know about. I want something to shock me. Like, have you guys, during crossovers, has there been anything that's really shocked you where you're like, I'm glad I didn't know about that beforehand?
Ezra Miller showing up.
Right. That was a big one.
That was cool.
You know, I've
Mm.
told you the story where someone told me that, like, didn't specifically say Ezra Miller, but they said that they were filming cool Flash stuff on the Arrow set because that was they filmed that for Arrow's episode. Like, someone almost told me that Ezra Miller was on set.
Right.
I'm
I don't know
I'm very,
how-
very
how they
thankful
get
that they
this.
didn't. But when they said that, it was at the same time that Kenan Lonsdale flew in to do that episode in season 6. So that's what I thought they were talking about. But obviously, it was freaking Ezra Miller. Imagine that. Imagine I spoiled that for everyone.
He could make a cameo or something. I know he's filming at the moment, but
What if Henry Cavill Superman makes a cameo? What if he shows up?
Well, you know what? I saw Snyderbot's angry that they're using Ryan Choi.
Oh. Why were they angry?
Because Ryan Choi's in the Snyder Cut, but they're not using that character anymore.
Right, but he was also in the other
he was in
Arrowverse
the
crossover.
Crisis first.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but then everyone thought he wasn't coming back, and now he's made the return.
Well, it sucks to be them. They stay in a perpetual world of disappointment. That's like what they
Yeah.
do. They just spin around and they're upset all the time and disappointed all the time. They can never be happy about
Yeah.
anything because there's nothing for them to look forward to anymore. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Everything that they wanted has occurred, and
God.
that's it. That's pretty much
Yeah.
the end of it.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The people, the extreme Snyder fans, not the casual ones, but the ones that are like that are mad about Ryan Choi or whatever.
Well, Ben was parading around as a Snyder cultist in May.
Is it good? Hey, Eric watched it like 4 times or something.
I did watch it.
Yeah, and don't worry, Eric gets that every single day. He gets reminded
Yeah.
about that dark time in his life.
Yeah. Also, one thing I wanted to point out with Ryan Choi coming back, you know, it was teased like he was going to be a big thing. He's coming back in this, but do you think he's ever going to come back in stuff that isn't a crossover? Like, is he just going to be?
I wonder if they're passing the torch from.
Yeah, but what show is he going to show up in?
I have no idea, but I think they're trying to establish that. I mean, I think that's what's going on, right? I mean, I assume that's what's happening.
I just don't see what show. He's not going to show up in Legends.
Well, to be fair, he's really smart, and they're running out of really smart people because, like, everybody keeps leaving.
They had smart people to begin with.
Well, I mean, Supergirl lost Brainiac. I mean, he's like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about on Legends.
No. I mean, in general, the Arrowverse, the smarter characters keep getting shuffled around. There's only a couple of them left that are like super geniuses. So Ryan Choi is kind of going to be an important thing, I'm guessing.
He could just stay on the Flash. I mean,
he could.
Season 5.
That's a good idea.
Maybe Chester's
Barry's
leaving.
suit, so
maybe Chester's got to go. Maybe he wants to leave the show. Possibly. I don't know. Fireflame with a $5 super chat. Until I hear the Earth Prime Batman or Hal Jordan, I'm going to wait to give my thoughts on the crossover. Jason Todd is on my list with Jordan. Okay, so we will, and you can quote me on this if it ever happens. We're never going to have an Earth Prime Hal Jordan on the Arrowverse. I don't think that's ever going to happen. The closest thing we're going to get is what's happening on Stargirl right now. Because if they've been so reluctant to give Diggle a ring, I don't see why Hal Jordan would ever be a part of the shows, especially with the Green Lantern series coming out on HBO Max. Because look at what they're doing with Constantine, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. When do you think they're going to bring Diggle back to finish his story?
Isn't it on Supergirl?
No. Yeah, but they're not going to finish it in one episode.
Well, how do you know, Ben?
I'm pretty sure.
Look, don't talk until you've seen it.
Okay.
We'll wait and see.
I am preparing everyone for disappointment. Diggle's story is not going to be what people want it to be. I'm just.
Well, what do you want it to be?
He's not even going to get there.
Okay, there's what I'm expecting and what I think everyone else is expecting.
Let's get the best of both worlds. Let's hammer it up.
So I think people want to see him put on the ring and fly around as Green Lantern, the Green Lantern ring. Okay,
not the candy ring.
No, I'm not going to expect that because I don't think they're going to give that to us. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to turn down the ring.
Drama.
That's what I think. And so therefore I won't be disappointed when it doesn't happen. But I think there's a lot of people that think that's going to happen.
What about a burger ring?
Okay, a burger ring would work. Absolutely. That would be pretty good. What do you expect from him to wrap up his story in Supergirl? What do you think is going to happen? I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything.
That's I'm pretty sure.
I'm expecting
it's not going to happen.
If Diggle would have been Green Lantern, Canada Grass would have had pictures of it on set somewhere.
Yeah. Or you would have seen
Ron Jeremy indicted on 34 counts of sexual
don't even say that in the stream. Don't even say it.
No, he looks like Hannibal Lecter in the photo.
I saw the pictures. Ben, any thoughts on Green Lantern or Diggle or anything before we move on?
Well, I really don't think they're going to finish it in the Supergirl episode. I think that I don't know. I feel like they are going to bring him back for sure, but I don't know when. Like, could it be the crossover after? I feel like.
It just really depends on whether or not David wants to come back and do anything else.
Well, I'm pretty sure he does. Because
he'll direct a couple of episodes for the Arrowverse this year.
We'll see.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he directs one of the crossover episodes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
5 special events, man. One of these.
Yeah.
He can reunite with some people.
Reunite, eh?
Wiz here with a $4.90 super chat. Will these heroes all team up with each other? A la Chryso would just be guest stars for one episode. So I think we're going to see the crossover and then a crossover. So I think that we'll see them come and go in episodes and they'll interact a little bit with each other, but we won't have all of them together like the Justice League. If that makes any sense.
Imagine if
guys expect?
they reform the Justice League and they put all of these people, including Brian Choi.
I mean, that's
Really?
possible, but I don't think it's going to happen on this crossover. What? Any thoughts on that, Paigey?
I know Paigey wants Mia Smoke in the Justice League.
I think there might be an episode where all of them are there, and I think it might be
like the final episode or something.
I actually think it might be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, midway third.
Like sort of like what we had with Crisis. You know how there was that Flash episode in the middle where it seemed like
and then they break off again,
and then like everyone died except the Paragons, and then at the end they just sort of sprinkled, oh yeah, this person's here, this is what they're doing post Crisis, and then there's the final fight which had a bit more people, but it was mainly the Paragons doing stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me too much if that's what it is, and then maybe the end is like Flash with maybe like 2 or 3 other people.
How do you feel about that, Ben? We'll talk about that briefly before you go.
I disagree.
We had a new member sign up here.
Woo!
Evier, thank you so much for becoming a member. Now you get custom emojis. You're going to get some badges. You get the members only live streams and
early access to the you know what.
Yeah. You know what?
The badge wow, if you know what
Martin here with the 1 super chat. What are your thoughts on Dion returning? So this is kind of, I read that before I even realized I was spoiling that. We've already seen set photos with
I don't know why it's like a spoiler. I thought it was pretty obvious once Eric Wallace said in that interview that the time sickness was going to be.
Yeah, he's going to be a part of the story with Iris.
Yeah,
so
I thought it was obvious that when, if you hadn't read that interview, then fair enough. But when Eric Wallace said in that interview that the time sickness was continuing, then.
So do you think if Candace didn't go away for that period of time, and they wouldn't have brought Dion back? I'm pretty sure.
That's a good question.
So
I don't know.
Lucky for the actor.
Do you think that you think he got the gig because of the fact that she had to take the break in there?
Right? They need him.
Yeah. Something that will end up doing a Legends of Superheroes at some point. They keep bringing up young characters from the future, plus you bring up Brainy and Dreamer in the future somewhere. They could. I would love, like me and Ben and I have talked about it on his stream before. We would love a Legion show with like all the characters from Legion together. I think that would be awesome.
What about brainstorm session? Pick a reality show, and then you have to mix it in, and it has to form into the Arrowverse. It has to fit properly. What reality show do you think would work?
Survivor.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Interesting.
Have you watched that consistently, Ben, to know that it would work and fold in properly? Like, I'm just.
No, I've never watched the show.
I think an island of like heroes voting each other off over
Love Island. Love Island with heroes. Yeah.
I was thinking MasterChef.
Really?
Who's gonna be in the lineup?
I'm actually surprised that Ben didn't choose like X Factor or The Voice.
Well, I was surprised he didn't do Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, British Bake Off. Who would we bring back for the Bake Off though?
I mean, this is kind of what we all say to ourselves. Like, it's just.
Whoa. Talk about a diss track live on stream.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for Ben. Yes, no. Ben, let's talk, because Paigey has watched Supergirl, but he didn't pay attention to it. So
if you say stuff, I'll remember it.
Okay. We're gonna do a very brief because Ben has to leave here soon. So we're gonna do a brief chat about this, and then we're gonna talk about Stargirl. This was the return of Supergirl, and I'm sure we'll dive into it more on your live stream.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say this is the return of Supergirl, and that's it.
Did it live? I know your review is up. We're not going to go into details, but just generally speaking, did it live up to your expectations for the return of the series? Did you enjoy it a lot or no?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. I watched it twice now, and yeah, I thought it pretty much.
Watch it 3 times. Why stop at 2? Just watch it again.
Why stop at 3? Why stop at 4?
No, but it was a good return, and it was really, really refreshing to see Kara with the rest of the team. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that it's just nice to see her back. But yeah, it was really good. I thought most of the storyline was very interesting. And
I was gonna say, it felt like, what it felt like to me as a season premiere. That's what the episode.
Yeah,
felt
it did.
Like
it felt like
it didn't feel like it was like the
Kicking
middle of the
something
season
off.
or whatever. So
Yeah. I liked Zor-El. He was pretty cool throughout the episode. So what do you think, Eric?
I didn't love it. I thought it was
You know,
okay. I'll tell you why. There was a
why?
lot of like it wasn't an issue with the care. Like I liked the concept of the episode. It was like an environmental episode, and
Mhm.
they were bringing Carl was back, and they had her father there, and all the team members kind of had stuff to do. There was a couple things in the episode that I didn't like for example, the environmental stuff. Like she could have cleaned all that up the moment she saw it. Like I don't know why she was like, let me go back and write a story about. Like it just seemed like it was like you're Supergirl and your father's there.
Yeah.
You could throw that all into the sun yourself, but instead we do this whole like song and dance with environmental issues, which is really what the show was trying to do. It was trying to bring attention to environmental issues. So I give them credit for that. I think it was fine, but that was a little bit weird. And I was also kind of disappointed that Lena decided to leave with only saying goodbye to Nia. I'm like, she didn't say goodbye to anybody else. She called up Nia. She's like, hey, yeah, by the way, thank you for our 10-minute conversation the other day. And since we're such besties now, I'm going to go back home and I'm out. And that's it. Like, what was that? That didn't make any sense to me. Like, why?
Yeah, you should have called Kara.
No one. I mean, she didn't tell anybody. She told Nia, and Nia is one of the characters that she had like the least amount of interactions with. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. Other than that, I thought it was a fine episode. I like the idea of the robot being turned into like this, giant creature or whatever. I thought that was cool.
Did it remind you of Flubber?
The robot? Maybe a little bit.
It reminded me of the movie Flubber, not necessarily Flubber itself, but like the movie Flubber.
But I'm also like,
why.
they made it so that was it Kelix they called him Oscar, but so Kelix could shrink things and then absorb it into energy, right? That seems like a powerful weapon. Like you never have to worry about villains anymore. You're just like, oh, there's a bad guy, shrink him, absorb him, and we're done. Like, I mean, it really was like, how did you invent this in 5 seconds? It was very weird. Plus, the fact that they showed the Fortress of Solitude, which leads me to believe this is why Superman and Lois didn't mention anything about Supergirl, because they didn't want us to have any idea of where
and establish a timeline.
Right. Yeah. They didn't want us to chronologically know like where that was taking place. I think that's the reason why.
But also the fortress here actually looks different from the way they normally shoot it.
It looked different from like normal Supergirl fortress. But I was like, so it's not the Superman and Lois fortress. It's not the Supergirl fortress. It's like,
I think it's like a hybrid. It's like midway towards Superman and Lois.
Just weird changes. Like did they get rid of that set? Maybe that's what it was.
I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true, that it's smaller. And they did it because they used the other half of the set for another Supergirl set. And I don't know what it was specifically.
Oh,
that's what's on. I saw that on Twitter yesterday because I saw people talking about it.
Could they not?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Maybe it's beyond their capability, but could they not just shoot it in front of a green screen and make it into the same one from Superman and Lois?
I don't know. Looking in front of it,
you might look a bit dodgy
because you got to realize Superman and Lois has those like anamorphic lenses which sort of cover up green screen pretty well.
Right.
The way that like the Flash Supergirl on the show, like the current show, if you're in front of a green screen, you're in front of a green screen. Like it looks like you're in front of it.
But
no matter how much, it's really hard. It just takes more time to.
Right.
You'd be better off having the physical set, I think.
Also, they established that William is now dating someone new, so that eliminates.
Yeah. Did you hear?
You're not gonna see that person. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Paigey?
Did you get disconnected?
I don't know. But yeah, the whole point of them bringing that up is like, no, it's not happening. So do you think that they're actually going to go ahead with Mon-El at the end of the season then?
I think so.
Reason?
I think we're going to see a wedding because was there any shots of Saturn Girl at all?
No, she's not coming back.
Which means that I believe that they're no longer together. And yeah. Are you still there, sure. Paigey? Or did you get disconnected?
I think he's disconnected. He would be talking.
Yeah, he's not even poking fun at anybody.
No, but I see what.
Yeah, there he goes. He's gone.
Yeah, I think in regards to the green screen idea, it's a good idea. However, the shows under the how fast they have to edit episodes, etc., etc. There's lots of reasons. The lighting isn't as good as Superman and Lois. I don't know about the team, whatever the reason is, but you can tell when it's a green screen. Like, you remember the shots in the episode where they're flying up in the sky and it's very obviously on a green screen?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So they do struggle with that, and that's because they're not that good at matching the lighting with what's happening in the sky, so they just shoot a bunch of light.
Remember when I said they're going to turn my power off?
Yeah.
wow.
They turned it off.
Oh wow.
That's great.
Okay.
So I had
Anyway.
to go to my laptop and put my phone thingo on, phone internet.
Okay. Well, this is good.
And now I don't have a picture. Oh, this gives me leisurely time to put a picture in. Hold on.
Okay.
Keep talking.
But what was I trying to get to?
You're talking about the green screen and how it looks.
But the green screen. So yeah, that's like they struggle with it. So I think it'd be pretty obvious. So I think it's bad that they don't go with it. But then also, did you realize in the episode that the shots where it was fully CGI and it was just the models rather than the actual people shooting there? That was actually pretty good. Like, it looked nearly Superman and Lois level. Like,
and I will say that
wait, what was nearly Superman and Lois level?
Yeah,
the wide shots with the models like moving. It's different from how Supergirl normally does it. I swear.
He's gonna call you out on this one. He's be like, "No, none of it looked like Superman."
No, it looked much better.
I was gonna say that that when Andrea found out about Lex, and they were doing that expose on him, trying to pin him with the environmental issues, and she goes to Lex's mansion or whatever. What were the chances that exactly what she needed was sitting right on top of his desk, like literally sitting there?
I would say very good chances, Eric.
By Arrowverse standards, I guess that is true, but by reality standards, it was like, here's this incriminating evidence.
What do you expect?
Right on my desk. Well, I mean, she could have opened a file folder or something and pulled it out. Like, it was just sitting right on top of everything. It wasn't even covered up. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was okay. It was okay. But it did feel like a season premiere to me. It didn't feel like a mid-season episode. I know it was
I think that's the
premiere,
idea. But, she's coming back for the first time. It's
because the episodes while she was in the Phantom Zone felt very disconnected with Supergirl. This felt like Supergirl. Like, this is where I felt like, okay, so the show is back, kind of thing. So I was happy with it in that regard. So speaking of Supergirl, though, before we move on, Cody with a $5 super chat. Apparently, a Miss Martian announcement is coming next week, and it's flown under the radar for 24 hours.
Who's
Any
said that?
news on this? Have you heard anything about this? Anybody?
It would be weird because Miss Martian isn't a big thing. Yes, she's shown up this season on Supergirl, but like she said like a couple of lines each episode.
She was one of the most disappointing new characters.
Yeah, she was just there for the sake of it this season.
Yeah. Let's see. We had no. We're not doing that.
Eric, come on.
Cal with a super sticker. It was a pair of sunglasses and a smiley face. Thank you so much, Cal. I do appreciate it. And here we go.
Wait. Is my voice coming through this?
I mean, I'm hearing your voice.
When
you say
it's coming through this.
Hello. Point of reference. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming through this.
Yeah. Wow. So Flash Freak with $5 super chat. The bottom. The back half of this question. This is the first after party while I'm making live. I've been busy and just moved into my first college dorm. Well, congratulations on your movie, guys. Also, Ben is a Melissa simp. Wow. I mean,
well, we know that last was a lie. He's a Chris Wood simp.
Oh, is that true? Is that absolutely true? I think it might be.
Remember the John Cena entrance?
No. We're not doing that. No,
I'm not doing it. I'm just saying. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember it. Yes. Tom says your voice isn't clear now. Wow.
Is it clear now?
I mean, I can hear you fine.
Wait, am I going to talk like one of those idiot TikTokers where they have to hold the freaking mic up to their mouth?
They're like,
I know. I always see that. They're always like, And I was the
What's
other
up,
day,
dude?
I was telling you something. What do you think about it? Yeah, it's always like, what's going on with that?
Hi, my name's Ben.
So we also had Stargirl this week. Ben, have you watched Stargirl yet? Are you even watching it at all?
No. I started watching it and then I was like, damn, I'm too tired. I need to go.
Wait. Are you caught up otherwise though?
Yeah, I watched episode 1. But then
I was gonna say, if you haven't been watching the season yet, I was gonna be really mad.
No, I liked episode 1. Then I started watching episode 2 and I was like, oh my god, I'm so freaking tired. And so I was like, I'm going to bed. And I saw like that weird CGI purple person and I was too tired to compute. I was like, am I dreaming? Screw it, I'm going to bed.
That was episode 3, Ben. So I know what happened to the actual episode 2.
Yeah,
it's an episode.
3. Yeah, it's episode 3 this week.
You missed the Green Lantern episode.
No, yeah. I meant episode 3. What am I talking about?
Well, the incorrect things, obviously.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. No. It's all good. We'll
okay.
On.
So let's talk about something different then, because I know we all saw this. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We've all seen that, correct?
Yeah. No, I haven't watched it yet.
Whatever.
What?
You've seen it. He's seen it. He's just trolling. It's literally breaking records right now. Do you think that this is just people that have just like all the hype and holding on to the trailer?
Holland stands.
Do you think is that what it is?
No, it's because it's 3 generations of Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
coming through. Like,
but there's no Andrew.
The thing is that I actually want to get I'm actually curious about Eric's thoughts on it because he's the Marvel shill. Because my thoughts on it are, it's either going to go 2 ways. I think it's either 2 ways. I don't think it's in anywhere in the middle ground. It's either the worst story, like it's literally fucking terrible story wise, makes 0 sense, but it's epic fan service to the next level that will never be topped.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
Or it's the greatest superhero movie on all levels. And I don't think it's anywhere in between. I think it's honestly the worst story ever written for a superhero movie, potentially, with so many plot holes it's not even funny that you would call it Swiss cheese with an extra slice of ham on top. Or it's the other side. But that with that extra house, all those holes in sliced ham, it's epic fan service to the next level.
I think
which way do you think it's going to go?
It's going to be fan service. It's fan service. Like, does it look like the best superhero film you've ever seen? No.
Well, it definitely looks like one of the more hyped ones. I'm more hyped to watch it than Endgame.
Yeah, of course you are, because it's got people that you like from past films, right? Of course, that's fan service.
Yeah, but I didn't really. Is this a hot take? I didn't really like the Andrew Garfield movies. I didn't really like Andrew Garfield.
That is Tobey Maguire ones.
That's blasphemy because I think Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man. So
I agree. I agree.
But you also like the Flash musical crossover, Eric. So
I did not like the musical crossover.
Yeah, you did. Eric did tell me off stream a couple of times.
I would watch. So here's a hot take. I would watch that musical crossover every day in replacement for every episode of season 7, with the exception of the first 3 and the last 3.
What do you mean the first 3? You hated episode 3.
No, I'd still watch that over. I would still watch because that's one story. I'd watch the first 3. I'd watch the Godspeed arc, but I'd replace every episode from the rest of the season with the duet episode. I would rather watch that.
I agree.
That's how much I disliked the story.
Yeah, but Ben, you'd replace every episode from season 1 with the musical episode if you could.
Well, I take that back. Okay, the Cisco episode. The Cisco episode I'd watch again.
But that was sort of like a musical episode.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. I feel like this Spider-Man movie is an end game for the Spider-Man movie fans, like not Marvel fans. If you've watched all the Spider-Man movies over the years, this is going to be your end game film.
Well, so tell me this, because I don't really step into the shill Marvel territory like I know you do, Eric. Are Spider-Man fans the equivalent to Marvel, like Batman fans are to DC?
Yeah, okay, yes.
There's Batman fans and then there's DC. Like there's Batman fans that say they're DC fans, but they're really just Batman fans. And it's the same with Spider-Man. They say they're Marvel fans, but really they're just Spider-Man fans.
I would agree with that, yes.
So that's pretty much like the
that
tit
is
for tat.
the target audience for this film, I think. So okay. So obviously, I've got a big Spider-Man on my wall. Spider-Man is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, right?
Oh,
yes.
Really?
So yes,
just checking.
But-
Because it's the spider. It's the spider that scares
I'm
Eric
not
every
just a
stream.
Spider-Man fan. There are people that are just fans of Spider-Man, and that's the audience that they're being catered to in this. Spider-Man is like, in my opinion, like the X-Men when it comes to Marvel stuff, similar to Batman. You can put them in a bubble and they can kind of exist as the only characters in their world because there's so much stuff. Like with Batman, there's so much stuff. With Spider-Man, there's so much stuff. With the X-Men, there's so much stuff. Even with the Fantastic Four, there's so much stuff. There's these characters that have their own worlds they kind of live in. So as a Spider-Man fan, this movie has the opportunity to do that for the people that just really love Spider-Man. I think Marvel fans are going to like it, but I do truly believe this is for the Spider-Man fans that have loved all the iterations over the years. Candigraphs is leaving. He's got to go break some Legends of Tomorrow scoop. So
Enjoy.
there we go.
I'm just excited to see Doc Ock back and Green Goblin's coming back, right?
Yeah,
sure
we saw his grenade.
Yeah.
There's been talks of whether or not Lizard is coming because there's a shot that looks like it's either Lizard or Venom. Nobody's really sure. There's obviously
Venom.
It looks like Sandman is going to be in it. We know Vulture will probably come back because of Michael Keaton. So they're trying to assemble the
Lego.
Sinister Six.
Isn't it the Lego set that has Vulture on it?
Yeah, and we know, and obviously Electro is going to be a big character because that got broke like a while back.
I
take my money.
I was gonna say I really hope that the other Spider-Men actually get like a lot of time rather than just cameos. Like, wouldn't that be cool if it was them just going around like Spider-Verse, with
Miles Morales and the
Miles
Spider-Verse.
and Peter in that film was cool.
Yeah. We also know Doctor Strange is going to be in it, so obviously he's going to be a part of the film. We're getting a Spider-Man suit that's imbued with magic. I think that's going to be kind of cool. So this movie, and a lot of people in the chat are saying they read the leaks and everything, blah, blah, blah. Basically, this film...
Why would you read the leaks to a movie?
Yeah, you're going to spoil the whole film.
Like, I can understand to a TV show because usually it doesn't
Yeah.
cover everything, but...
Yeah.
Why would you... What's the point?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read leaks to a movie before.
No, me too.
This is something that I couldn't bother going to the movies to watch.
Well, I mean, Ben, you read the leaks to that M. Night Shyamalan movie that just came out, Old. Didn't you love that film?
It was so bad.
I know it was.
It was
I saw
terrible.
it too.
It was the
Sorry.
worst film I've seen this year.
It is.
Don't
bad.
see Old. It's terrible.
Right. Anyway, so my final thoughts on the Spider-Man trailer is I loved it. I thought it was an exciting trailer, but it has a lot to live up to. And they've also kind of put their feet in the sands for the date because I felt like they were waiting as late as they could to find out if they were going to do it. I think, and I don't want to get this demonetized, but this is just, I'm going to put this out there.
Honestly, if the first 30 seconds didn't get the stream demonetized, nothing will.
Since a certain thing got approved by the FDA, I think they feel comfortable setting that date in the United States. That's what I think the difference was because they put the trailer.
Oh, is
out
that the Hey Macarena?
Yes. Yeah. So, anyway,
for those out there who don't know, that means Mumbo number 5.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that they put their feet in the sand for the date. Could it still change? Yes. Do I think it's going to? Probably not, unless something.
Well, if
happens.
Ben keeps super spreading, then it may.
Maybe, possibly. Gary with the 1.9 super chat, is the Flash getting delayed later? I hope it's not getting delayed later than March because November is when it comes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did it get delayed from November to March?
So I hope not. By March, we should be in the back half of the season, or at least the
wait. Actually, Eric, Mumbo number 5 or Macarena?
Mambo number 5.
I was gonna say Mumbo number 5 definitely is the supreme song.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, a little bit of Monica, obviously.
In my life, a little bit on my side.
So Ben, how much time do you have left before you have to go?
Negative 5 minutes.
Yeah, like 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
You guys can talk about Stargirl when I'm
I was gonna say we're gonna briefly talk about that.
She's a star girl, yeah.
So this week's Stargirl, I actually thought and I I mean, I got tricked a little bit when it started out because it starts back as a flashback to 2010. They were doing like Christmas music, and I'm like, is this a Christmas episode in the middle of the summer? Like, it was a little weird. But it was a flashback. It was just the beginning of it. I thought we were going to see more in that period in time. It was just like the intro of the episode, just establishing stuff for this week. What did you think of seeing Johnny Thunder, Paigey, for the first time?
Well, I remember one of the Stargo websites said that he'd been cast, but I had no idea what episode he was going to be in. And then he just showed up, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's Johnny Thunder."
Perfect casting. I mean, he looked
exactly like him. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, straight off the comic.
But everyone does. Pretty much, if they do a suit, it pretty much looks like the suit from the comics, or at least one take on the suit. I just liked. Actually, the one thing is that because it was never confirmed in season 1 that the place where they fought wasn't the JSA HQ.
Right.
It was the ISA's place.
Yeah.
That was never confirmed in season 1. That was only confirmed in this episode.
Oh, see, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
honestly, when they mentioned, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Because it was always left with a question mark whether, because we never saw Pat leaving anywhere. He just was driving somewhere. So it was, I guess, interesting to see that they confirmed that, and that the JSA looked like they actually stayed and had some like good tech going on.
Yeah.
What did you think of Wildcat, that we're getting
as well?
Well, that we're getting more JSA flashbacks, like in that Jay Garrick episode, which they keep talking up. I was listening to an interview with Trey Romano, who plays Mike, and he kept referencing that episode as if it's like a bonkers episode. Now, like, it's my most hype episode now because it's the one with Jay Garrick in it, and we know that Joel McHale's there. Like, Joel McHale's there for Starman. Original Owlman's there. Original Wildcat's there. I'm pretty sure Dr. Midnight's there. So it seems like it's a straight up flashback episode. But if it's crazy as well in the present day, I wonder if it's like when like something happens with Eclipso, and we see like the parallels between something that happened in the past, maybe how they defeated him, maybe,
right,
or when he did something. Maybe it's when he killed Rebecca, when they found out that he killed the daughter. That'd be pretty #epic.
It would be. I know Ben's excited.
Well, I'm not saying that the little girl dying was #epic, but that whole scenario, that episode could be.
Love Jay.
Yeah, that Jay Garrick. If that's going to be the episode, it's going to blow out the walls.
That's going to be the hype episode.
So. Yes. Are you going
to
be
one episode that is clickbait?
I think it's episode 9, right? Isn't that the?
It's 9. I saw an outlet say it was 7 the other day. I don't think it was Screen Rant, but it may have been. But I saw an outlet saying that it was episode 7. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's 9. Mia Dean, that's an L take. Quite the L take, not gonna lie. Stargirl is. I think Stargirl's. It's my favorite DC TV show. I like it more than Superman and Lois.
Do you like it more than Arrow?
DC TV show.
It's my current favorite show. Like show that's on at the moment. It's my favorite show.
Do you like it more than Legends of Tomorrow?
Than Superman and Lois.
Well, I was literally going to meme and say I like Supergirl more than Legends of Tomorrow, but I would be lying, I think.
What is your least favorite Arrow show that's currently airing that hasn't ended?
Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably Legends because I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I'm not watching Legends either.
I'm not watching it, but people keep saying that it's good.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'm not too sure what good means, though. Because
I have been tricked before by people saying, "Oh, Legends is good again," and then I go back and watch it, and it's not. So I don't believe that.
I think they're just trolling you.
They probably are, but I'm like 3 weeks behind on it because I just haven't watched it.
Well, let's see if you can make it 4 weeks behind.
I will probably binge the remainder of the season when it's over, but I'm not going to watch it week to week and review it.
What if you heard if there was a return for Thong Song at the end?
I would watch that one episode.
I would watch it just for that.
Yeah. Gary here with a $1 super chat. Is Starman mad at Pat? I mean, we didn't get any. There wasn't any Starman in this episode, so we don't really know what's going on with him right now. I would say there's definitely some suspicious stuff going on. I don't know if he's mad or not, though. Look, Amethyst, I quit watching Legends 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
I quit watching it 2 years ago.
I think the last episode of Legends I watched was. I was going to say it's the Cuba one, but I think that's too early in the season. I can't remember what the last one I watched.
Oh, geez. It's definitely not. They made Bishop 6% Sarah. Oh, and then Mick is pregnant with aliens in his head. Like, I just can't with that. I can't with that. Cannot do it.
No.
Cannot.
You
do
guys
it.
really aren't selling the show to us.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Look, see, Rex says you're missing out. Legends is great. That is a trick. They're trying to trick me into
Wait,
watching
Yeah.
it.
He's pregnant with aliens in his head.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest
Why in
thing
his
I ever
head?
heard.
What?
I
So
don't know,
his
that's-
head's pregnant.
Yeah.
Is his head just like?
I don't know now. I know that when they first announced it was, but
Jeez, that's stupid. All right, I gotta head off. But
all right. See you, Ben.
all
Bye.
right,
I'm just
enjoy
trying to imagine
Stargo
a
and
pregnant
Piggy
head.
laughing.
Bye bye.
But we got to meet also Wildcat, which I love the suit. I think the suit looks great. Stargirl has a really good. I don't know if their costume department the same as the other shows or not.
It's the same as Titans and Black Lightning.
Oh, is it okay? Because they did a really good job with the suits on Stargirl this season so far, and I think they all look really good. Now, Jay Garrick's suit is supposed to be the same one that he wears on the Flash, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to change something up a bit, but from what we can tell, at least, it's probably just going to be the same suit.
I mean, I don't know why they would. John Wesley Shipp says that he loves that suit. He's like, it's the most comfortable superhero suit he's ever worn. So he really, really likes that suit. So I don't know if they would change it or not. Plus, it's a way to sort of tie him in, and they don't have to do anything. The suit's already made. So
Yeah.
There's that. But anyway, so we had the flashback part, and then we jump ahead. We see Mike sort of running his paper route and getting dabbed on and talking trash. And so coming home with ripped up clothes, nobody even notices. Like the family doesn't even notice that anything has even happened to him.
Yeah, that caught me off when like he walks in. It's like, no one's going to pay attention to the fact his like shirt is hanging off like, from one sleeve.
Yeah, it was really
It's
weird.
the first thing I noticed when he walked in.
So who was he talking to on the phone? I couldn't figure that out. Was it like the
His
paper
boss.
route people? It was a paper route
Like
guy.
his boss for the he'd get the papers off.
Okay, because I'm like, who is he talking about? Like meeting somebody somewhere or something. I'm like, this is weird.
Drug deal.
So, but it's so interesting. Several people mentioned on social media that they're like, oh, what are the chances of him picking up the pen? And I'm like, did you not notice the pen like flashed before he picked it up? So it's almost like it was compelling him to pick it up. Like,
Well, how do we know the genie didn't make that pen run out of ink?
yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. Like there's something happened that compelled him to go pick the pen up.
Yeah.
And but now here's the weird thing. We saw that that Cindy pulled his picture out when she was pulling out pictures of the ISA or whatever. But based on what happens at the end of this episode, I don't know what could happen now. Because
you know what I think it might be? His best friend is Jakeem, but then Jakeem gets brought into the JSA and Mike's not allowed in.
Oh. That's possible. That's possible. So one of the things that I didn't understand at the beginning was Johnny Thunder was talking about how, he feels left out. They didn't want him out on the field. And we find out that the genie is just like most genies from fictional stories, that you ask for something, but it's either you get the literal thing you asked for or you get the wrong thing. It's sort of like it's magic, but it's also mischievous. And so, because like Mike's like, oh, I want water, and then water just falls on him, or I want to be taller, and it just puts him up on top of the, on top of the bench or whatever. So, would you say that kind of power is a liability?
He's a bit of a troll. It's big.
It is. It is
a bit of a troll.
That's a liability in the field, though, because you don't want to go out in the field as a superhero and not be able to use the power, like the stop signs when he uses he's like, I wish they would stop or whatever. It's just stop signs fall out of the sky and like land into the ground like they've always been there. And it seems like a mess, right?
Yeah, he's overly literal.
Superhero. Yeah. So would you want those powers? I feel like I would be, I troll all the time. So I guess, for me, it would be just like another day, but I feel like as a superhero, that kind of be, it'd be an issue for you, a liability for you in the field.
Well, unless you knew exactly
can't ask for the same
doing.
Thing twice, right? You can't do the same wish twice. So there's that as well.
Yeah. But like, I think if you had mastered it, it wouldn't be that much of an issue. I think it was just a massive issue for Mike because he's had it for like less like a day roughly or something like that. So I think if you And if you knew how to do simple stuff, like it's like, give me a sword. Like I don't think the sword's going to stab you in the head
Right.
or something, but it might give you a little tiny sword instead of
Yeah.
like a proper sword to fight.
So that was kind of interesting. And so he gets the pin, and now he wants to be a part of the new JSA because now he's a superhero. What did you think of the special effects for So Cool?
So
Did you like them?
cool.
Yeah, the genie, the calling him out, so cool. I decided I'm gonna call him that.
Yeah, I was watching your review and you're like, why does he keep calling the genie so cool?
Because I thought it was fun. Because Thunderbolt is like, I thought that was just like the code name. I didn't think that was like his
Well,
real,
his actual name is like one of those because he's from the same. Well, there's two different from one of the interpretations from the comics. He's from the same area as Mix's Pedalic or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
the Superman villain, or one that we
Right.
saw in Supergirl as well.
So, but he's visually he's very different than that. So
yeah, he's like a proper genie and stuff like that.
So, what did you think of his overall design for the show?
Well, it's very comic accurate. But yeah, I didn't mind it. Like, I think like for what it was, I thought it was good.
I know some people were kind of disappointed in it, but I think they were going for a cartoony look. It reminded me.
Yeah, I don't think they were necessarily trying to make it look like a real person, but made out of lightning or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to make it like it is like this weird character that looks like it'd be from another dimension.
Yeah.
You know, like think of that episode of The Simpsons when Homer drops through the portal,
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes out in real life and he's walking the street and everyone's looking at him.
Yeah.
That's the genie.
Okay.
So that's from another dimension in our world.
Okay. All right.
Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. I'm just saying that I thought that because a lot of people were complaining that it didn't feel like it existed in the real world, but I think they were going for like a Space Jam Who Framed
Well, he's not
Roger
meant to
Rabbit,
be
like
from our world.
Right. So he's not going to look real. He's going to look like whatever he is. Gary with One Eye Super Chat. When do you think the show will start getting to prom? I don't think they're going to do prom in summer school. Like that's a thing that usually happens during the regular school year. So I don't think we're going to see that.
Well, they're only 16.
Yeah.
When do you do prom in America?
Junior and senior year, which is 11th and 12th grade. So that would be like you'd be 16 or 17 at the time of prom.
So probably in season 3, then I guess prom would be.
Yeah. He means a promo for Supergirl. Oh, well, I don't think they're going to do promos this year. That was completely different from what I expected. If that's what he actually meant, then I don't know if we're going to get any. They didn't give any to Black Lightning, so I don't know if we're going to get a bunch for Supergirl. We might get some, but
they gave them for Arrow.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't give it to Black Lightning, so I'm wondering if they're just not going to do it for Supergirl. Don't know. There you go, Super. When do you think we'll get promos? Yes, I got that, Gary. Thank you for clearing that up, and I appreciate the super chat. I don't know if we're going to get any more, honestly. They might do some right before the finale, like they did with Black Lightning, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Don't know. So we also see that Shade is like looking for Eclipso. We kind of figured. I mean, I think we assumed that's what he was doing. Because I think we mentioned in one of the after parties that we thought that was what he was after. And he shows up when Barbara's looking for the items or going through the items from the wizard. And it's very creepy. Like they're kind of, for me, I think they're nailing the atmosphere of like a horror show, right? I mean, are you feeling like they're doing a good job with it or no?
Well, they're definitely giving that whole scene with the Shade and Barbara at the beginning was quite unsettling and a bit.
Yeah.
Bit creepy.
The way he's talking to her was very creepy.
It was giving me a bit of Ron Jeremy vibes, if you know what I mean. Like it was definitely quite unsettling.
Yeah. I will say that I agree with Introverted Unicorn. By the end of this episode, I don't think that he's either good or bad. I think he's there to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, the Shade in the comics sort of like aligns himself with people that follow whatever he's trying to do. So if there's someone that's sort of going for the same goal as him, he'll align himself with them without necessarily forming a partnership. if that makes sense.
Right. Which
So
he even
with
mentions
the
that in this
ISA,
episode. Yeah.
well, that's why, like in the ISA, their values and their intentions lined up for a certain point, and then there was a fork in the road, and that's why he left them. And that's why they felt that he betrayed them and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then I think we're going to see the same thing with the JSA, where they're now trying to take down Eclipso, and Shade's more concerned about like controlling Eclipso and putting him back in that box and everything like that, or at least detaching him from any sort of host.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I think
So,
Shade
yeah.
knows. Shade out of everyone understands how powerful Eclipso is. I think he knows.
yeah.
And the only other person that has any concept of that is Pat. And I don't even know if Pat would know as much as the Shade knows in terms of like how powerful Eclipso is. Do you think Pat would have a better idea, or do you think Shade's definitely the like expert with Eclipso?
I think Pat would have experienced what Eclipso can do. I don't know if he'd actually know exactly how powerful he is. I think Shade
Mhm.
probably knows specifically what maybe if Eclipso, because the Shade has lived for so much longer.
Mhm.
Like the Shade lived, and they kept on making that point. They lived in the 1800s. So how do
Yeah.
we know that the Eclipso didn't do something in the 1800s while Pat might have only experienced him in the 50s or 60s?
Right. Yeah.
So how
No,
do we know that he
exactly.
didn't do something really, really bad in the 1800s that the Shade experienced or knew of?
That makes sense. Gary with 1-9 super chat. When will we get Batwoman and Flash trailers? When do you expect to see those? Because I don't even know when we would get them this year.
Batwoman probably in September. Flash probably at Fandom maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at Fandom. Unless they really want to sell this 5-event thing, then they might release a promo early. But I'd expect Fandom. So I think
Because
that's exactly a
if you
month
guys didn't know, they're
before.
already filming Flash right now. It's already
Yeah, they're on
filming
episode 1.
Yeah. So Dark Bat says, for me personally, I have not found Supergirl season 2 to be scary. I think it's supposed to be unsettling right now. I don't think it's supposed to be scary yet. I think we're in the
wait till
unsettling
Eclipso
phase.
comes out and goes, "Hello,
Yeah,
hello, Dark Bat. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're wearing your diaper
yeah.
because it's time to wet the bed
I could tell you
through
right
nightmares."
now, like Eclipso in real life, if I was standing in front of that, I would be scared. That's
Uh,
really creepy.
I think anyone from the show after, imagine Sportsmaster, you wake up and he's staring at you with a hockey mask. You'd be like, holy
Probably.
shit, how'd you get in here?
Probably. What did you think of the Shade's powers and how it was displayed on the show? I thought it was much better than the Flash. I think
Well,
the
you know
Flash dropped
what?
the
He
ball
wasn't
on
even
it.
trying.
No.
He only had to try when Courtney's cosmic staff was fighting back, and at that same time, he's still pinning everyone else down.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
I mean,
absolutely was like, he's OP to me. Like, I feel like he's a lot more powerful. He's like at icicle level of power, like in my opinion.
well, I think that's
at-
why he felt he didn't need the ISA. He could just walk away. Well, I think
Yeah.
the ISA probably felt like they need to be together as a team to be
Yeah.
like threatening. But I think the Shade
I
can be
mean,
threatening on his own.
think about his powers. He's got almost intangible shadows that can do tangible things, but you can hit them and your hand will go right through it and they'll just reform again. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you fight something like that? It's crazy. But you know, also the fact that it seems like they had this idea of like turning on a tanning bed or something. That was their whole plan for defeating him.
I thought that was
And
pretty
I'm like,
funny.
why are you fighting him at nighttime? Like that's when he has the advantage. So it's always nighttime.
Well, I guess
Always.
it's because they're walking around in their superhero suits.
Yeah, that's true. So hey B. Allen Hart, how are you doing? So did I say Supergirl? I don't know anymore. I always get confused. I'm always afraid when I'm doing my Stargirl review, I'm gonna say Supergirl because they're so close in name. So I'm always like, did I say the right thing? Did I say the wrong thing? And then I don't even worry about it after that. So we come together as a team with Mike, where they decide to write out this wish. Right? They put it out on the dry erase board. And at first, I didn't know what they were. I was like, "What are they doing?" Oh, they're coming up with this very specific wish. I thought that was actually very funny and very smart as well. Do you think they're going to keep Mike around to help out with stuff? Because he kind of brought everybody together in a weird way in that moment, even though it was, he had the genie and everything. But I feel like he coming together with the team, everybody sort of just gelled together. Do you think that was because of Mike being there, or do you think he's going to be outcast again? By the way. Do you think he's gonna be?
I think it'll be until Jakeem. I think he'll be the one that brings Jakeem into it. I think he'll find out that Jakeem has the pen and has been using the Thunderbolt, and maybe he'll tell Pat, because obviously they don't know where the pen went. They just think it went to someone random. That's why Pat was a bit annoyed at the end of the episode, because now who knows who would have it. That's a bit dangerous. So he might bring Jakeem into the fold, but then Jakeem once again gets like all the attention and he's sort of fulfilling that role, but he might be more accepted more than Mike was, which would annoy Mike because Jakeem's like automatically accepted. Hey, you're part of the JSA now. Let's go fight crime, blah, blah, blah. And then Mike's probably sitting there going, what the hell? I was getting told I had to sit down all the time and couldn't come. So I could see that happening and it trigger Mike quite a bit.
Yeah. Scott Kendall with a good comment here. He goes, somebody asked if Amanda Waller could play Sam Lane. Didn't they kill off Amanda Waller and make Diggle's wife head of Argus? I mean, I think
we never
that
know
was
post-crisis. Never know what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, but if she's still the head of Argus, then something definitely happened, right? I don't know what it is, but good point. Clifford says, I feel like Eclipso was the one who actually killed Dr. Midnight. I mean, that's probably what we're going to do because Shade actually says, like, you know, that you don't understand or they don't know anything, basically. So Maddie, this is it, right? How are they going to defeat Eclipso if they can't defeat the Shade? That's the thing. Eclipso is like so powerful that they're going to have to use, I think Shade is going to have to fight with them against Eclipso. I believe that's what's going to happen. Like, he will align with them as long as their goals are the same. Because the Shade, like you said, he will partner with someone if what they desire lines up with each other. But he's not going to be friends with them. He's not going to work with them full time. But I believe Shade is going to be seen as the bad guy for a while, and then Eclipso will come around and end up being the real bad guy. That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, that's the thing, is they can't defeat the Shade. How are they going to defeat Eclipso? Absolutely great question there. Let's see. I thought I saw something else I want to talk about here quickly. No, we're good. All right. I liked all the effects in Stargirl this week, you know, along with the genie and the Shade stuff. I don't think we're 3 episodes in now. I don't think we've seen a drop in quality for the special effects. Do you feel that they have? Because I know a lot of people were worried. I think
no. Well, this is the thing that I've told people a lot, and I think people sometimes just forget when I tell them this. VFX, Stargirl would have the same money as like Flash, Supergirl, Legends, Batwoman. They just have more time. The more time you have on the same budget, you get better VFX. You get more refined VFX. And that's just the issue with, you see a scene with the Flash, and it's like, why doesn't that look so good? It's mainly just they didn't have enough time. And that's why I think Supergirl had a decent VFX sequence this week. Because they, obviously, that was, because Melissa, it wasn't Melissa, it was a stunt person in that suit. That they must have filmed that a while ago.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of time to do that VFX. So that big monster and stuff looked better because it had more time. They had more time to put it together and everything.
I did notice that was a much better visual than we normally get. So
yeah, and that was in the daytime as well, which is usually a dodgy time to film stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the more time you have, the more time you can refine that VFX. And Stargirl has that. So I expect it. Like, I'm sure there's going to be like bits where, like, obviously Grundy's always going to be a hard one to nail and various things like that. But even just things like the cosmic staff and like the pink pens effects and like you know what I'm interested to see? What Jay Garrick looks like on Stargirl. Like when he runs. Like what's his lightning effect look like?
Because it'll be different from I think it will.
Does it look the same? Is it roughly the same? It just has some like, maybe when he stops, like dust comes up or something like that.
Yeah. That would be cool, actually. It's a good point. We got a few more episodes
before we get there. Or they do it where you can see like a trail behind him. It's not lightning. It's actually like a trail of him running, like almost like the old time comics. You can actually see it's almost like a trail of Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
Like a blur, if that makes sense.
The blur. Yeah. No, that would be good. I'm excited with that. Yeah, I know I saw the preview, Clifford, for the next episode. So anyway, we end up getting past all the Shade stuff, and Mike decides that he wants to wish the genie into better hands, I believe is what he says, or something like that. So the pen disappears, and it ends up going to Jakeem, And I didn't realize this at first, but his sister is from season 1. And I didn't realize that until later on. I'm like, oh yeah, she was friends with Cindy. Somebody mentioned in the comments, like, oh, she was from the school back in season 1. And I didn't even notice it. She looked familiar, but I'm like, am I just recognizing her from another show? But didn't you mention, I think I remember last year during the after parties, you said that you suspected that she was related to Jakeem if he was going to.
Well, yeah, because on the credits, I remember watching it and I was like, oh, her name's Jenny Williams. And I was like, well, they've name dropped Jakeem, I think, twice in season 1. I was like, is she meant to be? Because I don't think she's from the comics. But I was like, oh, well, Jakeem's last name is Williams. And I was like, okay, well, is she like, and she goes to schools. I was like, is she meant to be Jakeem's older sister? And then that ends up happening. So, hashtag Nostradamus.
Fireflame with a $5 super chat. Is Poison Ivy a meta? Can't remember and felt bad for Mike this episode. Is Poison Ivy question? It depends on what version of Poison. There's been so many different versions of her.
Well, by the basic term of metahuman, then yeah, she's a metahuman.
Yeah. It's her powers are biological. And so that typically falls into that category. So because you could call Superman a metahuman.
Yeah, anyone that's like that just has like superhuman powers pretty much is considered a metahuman.
Yeah. I think there are versions of her that are not, though. I think some of the comics are not metahumans because she didn't actually get like powers until later in her time in the DC universe, because I think she was using chemicals originally, right? Like different formulas and stuff. So not sure. Poison Ivy's not a character that I've followed a lot. When she shows up, she shows up. And I felt bad for Mike in this episode. I think the intention was for us to find out that Mike he felt like an outsider, but I kind of knew that already. I know our characters didn't, but I kind of knew that he probably felt that way. That wasn't surprising to you, right? You didn't feel like that was news or whatever?
What?
That Mike felt like an outsider.
Oh no, like I think he's felt like they've been sort of setting it up for a couple of episodes. Even last season, they were setting it up.
Yeah. So I wasn't too shocked about that, but I did feel bad for him. And Mike used to annoy me quite a bit in season 1, but I've grown to like him as a character. So Poison Ivy is classed as a metahuman. Yeah, I mean, I would say probably so. We also find out, we get the reveal to Pat that, Eclipso is out, that he's out running around. And now Pat is worried about this, and that's because Barbara reveals this to him. And we also get the information from Beth and the goggles when she finds out that Chuck comes back for a second, and he's like, he doesn't remember her, but he's like, watch out for Eclipso or whatever. And so we got that reveal. So pretty much everybody is going to know that Eclipso is a thing within the next episode or so.
Yeah, roughly.
We also get the shot of the Shade on top of the clock tower, and that's when he makes the comment about Eclipso killing the kids or whatever. He didn't say it in a way where he seems like that's what he wants, which is why I believe that he's not in this, and he's not out to do anything to Blue Valley or to the kids. I feel like he might be selfish. Maybe he wants Eclipso for himself. Maybe he wants Eclipso's powers, but I don't think he's doing anything against the kids or the people of Blue Valley.
No, I think it's more concern because he probably knows that they're a target for Eclipso, and if he kills them, he's probably going to get stronger. So, and it's definitely not going to help his case in regards to trying to stop him.
Do you think his powers are somehow tied to Eclipso?
No, maybe he's had an experience with him in the past or something. I don't think it'd be necessarily straight up tied.
Because I feel like with Jade and her story with her brother, and then Shade, and then Eclipso, it seems like there's going to be some connective tissue for that story. I don't know what it's going to be, but something.
Well, I know that like Shade and Obsidian both access their powers through the Shadowlands, so they share the same like source, almost like the Speed Force.
Right.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to be. I wonder if they're going to be important against Eclipso though, like their powers or whatever. I think for sure Green Lantern is, and we know Stargirl's got a really good, like the staff is actually a really good weapon against Shade's powers. So there's that. I'm really excited though. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was another good episode. I actually think it was my favorite episode of the season so far.
Yeah,
the first
same.
3. So in the chat, what would you score this episode of Stargirl from 1 to 10? I am curious to what people think about it. If you did watch it, and let us know your thoughts down there in the chat below. All right, this is going to be, because we don't really have much else to talk about. Do you have a Pagey's pick for this week or no?
I do, but I'll save it for next week.
Okay, this is going to be a 5-minute warning because Pagey's also dealing with he's got some internet issues.
Yeah, I'm
so.
pretty much running off the limited battery my laptop has and my phone.
Yeah. So I see some 8s. I see a 7, 8.5, 8.2, 7. I quite enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to where they go from here this season. B. Allen Hart says it was an 8 out of 10. Royal Public Secrets gives it a 10, a full 10 out of 10. There we go.
10 out of 10.
I'm not seeing any troll scores. Where's Giovanni? I'm looking for a 3 or 4. Why can't Damien Dark ever stay gone? I mean,
well, that's why it's called Return of the Mac.
I mean, the thing about comics is nobody's ever really gone. That's the reality of it. PM Productions gave it a 2.
I think that's going to be a 2 out of 2, though.
Oh, okay. So basically a perfect score. That's awesome. Anyway, any thoughts on brief thoughts on Titans from last week? I know that we don't really talk about that, but I don't know if you wanted to, if there's anything you wanted to add from the episode.
I saw like it was a little bit of a dramatic, like I saw a lot of like negative reactions to it. Like it wasn't amazing, but I thought it carried on the story for like well enough. The only thing it's so clear though, it's just not a Titan show, and I don't think it's ever gonna be.
Right.
It's just not a Titan show. It's just a Bat Family show.
It's Bat Family characters with Titan characters in their own storylines.
Yeah, it's almost like if you look at the Flash and like the Flash has the main storyline, but then you have like a 10-minute thing from an episode where it's Cecile and Joe doing something, and that's the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flash section of it is the Bat Family stuff.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they've shifted away from?
I think you know why? Because if it didn't focus so heavily on the Bat Family stuff, it wouldn't be as popular.
Mm.
It just wouldn't be, which is unfortunate because the Titans are so interesting, but they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it.
Right.
But well, I mean, I've already watched today's episode.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And it's literally got 0 Titans in it. So, but that's not me spoiling anything, but it's got 0 Titans in it. Absolutely 0. Zilch, nada.
What's the title of the episode?
Lazarus, which should give you a hint as to what the episode's about.
It's about Wonder Girl, isn't it?
No, Lazarus.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, I thought they were going to try and bring her back to life.
Who died in episode 1?
Oh, in episode 1?
Got hit with something in an amusement park. Got taken from in the morgue by the coroner.
Yeah, Wonder Girl, right? Isn't that who it is?
I'm not sure if he's trolling or not. He has to be, but he's not putting a troll face on.
No, I'm not. I'm reading the chat to see what people are saying also. It's too funny. But it's no Titans though. That's not even a cutaway for a minute? Nothing?
No.
I'm bummed out about that. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I'll have to go watch it then. So I'm excited. I mean, I want to see what it is, but you know. So
I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you what. The only thing I'll say is if I was just watching this without necessarily knowing, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like a backdoor pilot.
Is it like the Superboy episode from last season?
Sort of. It's actually very similar to the Superboy in regards to its structure, but it feels like a backdoor pilot, almost. Like if you said that there was a show of this guy, and this was the last time we saw him, maybe one more appearance this season, and then we saw this character in his own show in like 6 months, I would believe that this is a backdoor pilot.
So do you? I don't want to spoil it because I know you're trying not to give spoilers, but I'm just curious. So, I mean, obviously they're going to show how everything got set up, right? How we got to where we are now, which is.
And I will say something. Don't get your hopes up in regards to certain aspects of the story. if that makes sense, without me spoiling it. I don't want to get anyone's. If you've enjoyed Titans this season and you think it might go a certain direction, don't get your hopes up too much because it does go a very basic route with a certain element.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
then I don't know what to think. Okay. I guess I can't believe they're going to spend a whole episode on that. I feel like that's
I was
something that could have been
surprised.
done in
However,
like a, yeah, go ahead.
it's. I was surprised, but it's actually, you know what? It's the best Ian Glenn has been as Bruce Wayne. He actually felt like some sort of Bruce Wayne actor. He actually felt like Bruce Wayne a bit in the episode. First time he's actually ever sort of felt like Bruce Wayne in this episode.
Okay, well, that's good then.
Yeah.
But by telling me, like, knowing what it's focused on now, I can see why like calling it Titan seems problematic, especially considering that it's already been sort of, I don't want to say like lambasted, but it's already been criticized for like not featuring the Titans and being like a show about Nightwing. So
Yeah.
to double down on that with more Bat family members, I don't know. I have no clue.
And then,
But,
and even then, Tim Drake, we met him for a couple of scenes, and they haven't even dived into him, and they're still got to develop him. So it's another Bat family member.
But here's the thing, though, we haven't even like dropped back on, like we haven't even gone back to him for 5 seconds, like since we.
No, so wait, I know when he shows up again and we deal with him, but it'll be interesting. Like it's the season's clearly an improvement, but it's still just not a Titan show. That's why it's far from perfect in my eyes because the show's called Titans. If we're going to criticize the Flash for not having the Flash to be in the majority of stuff, then I think you have to give the exact same criticism to Titans.
That's fair.
When it doesn't actually include the Titans as the main characters, it's just Bat family, pretty much for like 80% of it.
So good point. Ethan, are you hyped for Shang-Chi? Yes, I am. That comes out like in a week, right? Yeah, it comes out next week. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm keeping my eyes on how well it's going to do in the theaters because I know a lot of people want to see if streaming has anything to do with these big budget movies. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's affected by, or how this movie is affected by not being on streaming. I think that everybody in behind the Black Widow movie is going to be keeping an eye on Shang-Chi as well to see what it does financially because of the lawsuits and everything. So where is Raven? They put her on the show, then benched her in season 2, and now no Raven. She is on the Mascara. But I mean,
I don't know what episode she shows up.
I know that I've seen pictures of her in the white suit, like the white Raven suit, but I think it's like armor from the Mascara, but it's looks like her white Raven suit from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And we'll catch you next week. And maybe we'll have some more news on this crossover event.
Oh, edgy.
Crossover. It's not just a special event. It's a special crossover event. I don't know why they don't want to use that word. But I'm pretty excited for it. Anyway, if you're watching this on Twitch, you can check out my YouTube channel in just a bit. It'll be up for playback. And if you guys missed any of this live stream, it'll be available for everyone shortly. And that's pretty much it. So we will catch you guys next time. See you then. Old outro? Old outro?